What's going on, guys? It is Dan the Man, aka Daniel's son, and I am with Walking Dead Mike, and we are talking spoilers for Star Wars The Force Awakens. Yes, it's the most anticipated film of the year. Well, this was my second most anticipated film of the year, but boy, it finally came. I saw it Thursday. Mike, you saw it Thursday as well, opening night, right?
Yes, I did. Unfortunately, no one was allowed to dress up, but I still had a
That's
blast.
Yeah, man, that's whack, man. That's very whack. I did see a couple Han Solos, I did see a couple Princess Leia's, but you can't be a stormtrooper and have the helmet and stuff. So that was lame. I did see a Spock. I saw a Spock in my theater. Did you see any Star Trek fans at all?
Oh my God, you have to have a nice pair of balls to walk in the Star Wars film wearing a Star Trek outfit. No, I did not actually. I'm surprised I didn't.
Oh yeah, dude, there was a Spock. It was funny, and then it was so funny when I was working yesterday too. Like they would go to me and they're like, "Oh, yeah, there's a Spock. Did you see that Spock walking around?" I'm like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Yeah, I saw him. That guy." I tipped the hat to that guy. He has balls, man, to come in here and wear that Spock. But yeah, little kids. He had little kids dressed up as Star Wars characters. So
Oh,
yeah.
cool, cool.
Okay, Mike. I mean, let's get into this. There's a lot to talk about here. There's a lot. I did a review. You know my feelings, somewhat of my feelings about it, and I definitely know where you're headed to. I didn't read your text because I wanted to know right here, right now.
Yeah.
Okay, man, go for it. Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Spoiler talk. How did you feel about it? Did it live up to the hype?
I'm gonna just start off by saying it definitely to me didn't live up to the hype. I mean, I felt like it was a New Hope all over again, all
Mm-hmm.
over again. I get the vibes of New Hope from the get go, and to tell you the truth, Dan, I'm very disappointed. It was a good movie, but that doesn't mean I don't have to be happy about it. I'm very disappointed, and yeah, like I said, it was a New Hope all over again, like repeating the Death Star and
Yeah.
plotting the plans or Luke's whereabouts in another droid, and
And
then
like Luke at the just at the very end, man. Just like we kind of, I think we did say that like Luke was gonna just probably show up just at the very end, but no dialogue. And I hated how they closed out the film with that aerial shot. Like I was hoping he would go up to. I think a lot of people were hoping he'd go up to Ray and take the lightsaber and say something, and then it closes out, and maybe him uttering those famous lines, um, my family's strong with the force. My father has it. My sister has it. I have it. Now you have it. I thought he was gonna say that at the end too, but uh, yeah. Go ahead, Mike. I mean, I just, yeah.
yeah, I mean the ending as well. I'm on the same page as you. I mean, there was no dialogue from Luke whatsoever. I mean, I think it was seeing that aerial shot at the end. I'm like, it's really over right now. I really don't believe this. I mean, it was only 2 hours and 16 minutes. I don't know if you agree with me, Dan. They could have made an extra half hour to give us a little bit more, a little bit more stuff. I know maybe close to 3 hours is a lot for a film, but
Uh,
for a Star Wars film, I think us Star Wars fans would have. I know us Star Wars fans would have sat in the theater for almost 3 hours. They could have given us at least another 10, 20, 30 minutes in the film.
Here's the thing, Mike. Like I thought the pacing was a little off, so I felt the length. I felt those 2 hours. I was like, ugh. I'm like, this is kind of going. I mean, I was enjoying the film, but I did think like there was some parts in the film where I'm like, okay, it's kind of lagging a little bit right here. So I don't know. I think 2 hours is fine because I think it'd be overstretching it just to make it longer. I just felt like they could have just ended it better, and it was so awkward too when Luke and Ray, because Ray goes finds Luke at the first Jedi temple and stuff. It's weird that Leia doesn't go with her, and it's weird that like nobody else goes with her. It's just her going to Luke or Chewbacca or whatever. Um, but I felt like that scene when she's looking at Luke, it just stays on that part just way too long. And Luke is just like kind of just looking at her. And then it goes back to Ray and then it goes back to Luke. I'm like, okay, like different shot or go somewhere else with this because it's kind of getting a little awkward now because you're just staying on them way too long. But I agree with you, Mike. I thought the ending, like them ending it like that, was kind of really kind of whack, or just how they ended it with that shot and everything. I didn't like it at all. But I don't know if I would want another another hour of it because I felt like the pacing was just a little off. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people would have liked a little bit more, like you, of this film.
Yeah, I definitely would have liked to like at least another 15 minutes to a half hour of the film. But yeah, I did get that awkward vibe, like you just said. You got they panned the camera to Luke like twice. I thought he was gonna say something. I mean, he could have gave him a few words. I don't know. It was just a little. It did feel awkward, like you said. But
Yeah.
I did love to see like all the old characters like C-3PO, R2-D2.
Most definitely. And we did say that. We said that they were going to be mostly a cameo
Yeah.
than anything. It was all BB-8. And you know what? I thought I thought I wasn't going to like BB-8 as much. And you know what? He was pretty awesome in the film. I really did like BB-8.
Yeah. I'm on the same page with you. I definitely enjoyed BB-8 throughout the whole film. I mean, there was I think one or two parts that I actually laughed out loud in the theater because of BB-8. He brought good vibes to the film. I really enjoyed him.
Oh yeah, like you know when Finn's giving him a thumbs up and then BB-8 like takes that little thing and just like lights in, gives a thumbs up. That was so funny and great. And then when Finn's like, "Oh, don't tell her, like tell her where," or no, tell her where like the base is, tell her where the base is. And BB-8's just like turning to Ray, turning to him, turning to Ray, turning to him. I thought that was hilarious. I mean, BB-8, he stole the show. He stole the show. Is he a replacement for R2-D2? Never. But he was a good comedic character in the film.
Yeah. Those were the definitely the two moments where I laughed out loud. What you just said about him looking back and forth and giving the thumbs up to Finn. Yeah, it was really great. I definitely enjoyed BB-8's character.
Yeah,
and I like how like that new droid is like how he has the head on the top and he has spins on the bottom. I like the whole concept of that.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting, and it was real. Like it wasn't CGI or anything. They took the time to make BB-8 actually functional, which is great. The practical effects and the CGI, I believe, mix so well in this film. I thought, Mike, there's a lot of problems with this film. We're gonna get to that in a minute, but the film itself looked very beautiful, was very well directed, except that ending aerial shot, I gotta say, but it looked beautiful. I mean, the fights were amazing. It just was a beautiful, well done film, and you saw all the love and everything they put into it. Do you agree with that, Mike?
Yeah, it was definitely they got a lot of nice shots throughout this film, and I have to disagree with you. Even though I didn't like the ending, I did like the aerial shot that they had at the end. It was a beautiful area. I think that was actually filmed in Ireland or something. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not too sure about that.
Okay.
But that setting at the ending was beautiful. I don't like the ending, but I like the aerial shot at the end. I really enjoyed that. It was beautiful. Definitely nice.
Okay. Yeah. I really just did not like that shot. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people did like that shot as well. It was a different way to kind of end, a different shot to end like the Star Wars film, because there's been different ways of ending it, and that was more like non-traditional. But what did you think about the fights? We had dog fights in here, of course, the TIE fighters. We had Poe, the best pilot in the world. We had the lightsaber battle. So actually, before I get to that, what did you think about the new characters? What did you think about Finn? What did you think about Rey? What did you think about Poe?
Oh man! First off, I want to start by saying I'm in love with Poe Dameron. I really think he's an awesome character.
Even though he only had like a little bit really to do in this film, because he wasn't in the film as much as I thought he was going to be.
No, he wasn't. Yeah, he might have got about 6 or 7 minutes of screen time throughout the whole movie. Maybe a little bit more. I'm not sure.
But it wasn't very much at all.
Yeah. I enjoyed his character a lot, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. Hopefully, if he comes back for 8 and 9, that would be great.
Most definitely, he will.
Yeah, and Finn, I like Rey. I didn't think I was gonna like Rey as much as I did when I seen the film, but I'm liking her character. Who else do we got?
Finn.
I do not like Kylo Ren. I don't
really?
like. Kylo.
Oh.
He kept his mask on. Once he took his mask off, I got turned off by that. I think he's just, I don't know. He's a little. little bitch. If you don't mind me cursing, I don't like him.
Go ahead. A little, yeah, he was a little whiny in this film. A lot of people compared him to the Anakin of this film, but a lot of people said he was better done than what they did in the prequels. But I could see why people wouldn't like Kylo Ren because of the fact that, first off, yeah, when he did take off his mask, and second of all, yeah, he was a little whiny throughout this film. Uh, I don't have the same problem with you, Mike. I'll get to that in a minute. But what are the so what else about Kylo Ren did you? What is it about Kylo Ren that's like, ugh, like this guy just did not do it for me? Like
I
what
don't.
parts of the film?
I feel like that he was just he was a whining little baby. I don't know, and especially that I mean I liked his temper tantrums, but it's not like he should be making those temper tantrums. How he like used the force on a couple people. I mean, it just felt like little play.
Oh, oh,
You know?
I get you. Like when he was just like when nothing went his way,
Yeah,
he would just like lightsaber the shit out of like everything that surrounded him, except the person that was telling him.
yeah. He just had the little baby fits, and I don't know. I thought I was going into this film. I thought I was gonna like him so much more. You know, throughout all the trailers and everything, his lightsaber and all that. But it was the total opposite. And when he fought Finn, I mean, it was I just didn't get that feeling like he was like a Darth Vader. You know, he's far from Darth Vader. In
Okay.
my
Okay. Since we're on the subject of Kylo Ren, I guess I'll talk about Kylo. I didn't get. I know he wasn't the Darth Vader villain we were expecting, which it was actually I was perfectly fine with Kylo Ren. Actually, it was one of my he was actually one of my favorite characters in the film, and I'll say that because yes, when he took off the mask, it was a little bit. I wasn't expecting any like scarred face or anything like that. It was actually just Adam Driver, with just the mask. He was just trying to imitate Darth Vader. He was trying to imitate Darth Vader. Of course, he will never be like Darth Vader. He's its own character. But watching him through this film, I felt the struggle he had. I thought overall, one after he took off the helmet, I think after that it was a little bit like okay I don't know how you're gonna do, man. Now you're not as menacing as I thought you were going to be. But throughout the film, I was like, okay, he starts doing stuff where I'm like, this guy's an asshole. This guy's such a dick. And I don't know. I think I'm starting to like it. I think I'm starting to like that. Hey, he is struggling with the light side of the light and the dark side of the force. But what one moment with Han Solo, and we'll get to that, Mike. That one moment with Han Solo, after he does that, it's after he kills Han, it definitely it goes. I think I'm starting to see like a villain start to emerge, and we didn't get the full on villain, but I think we're gonna get it in the next episode. And I did love that Rey and him fight with the lightsaber. I thought that was beautifully done. But I didn't have a problem with Kylo Ren, but I see the issues that everybody had, especially that when he fought Rey at the end with the lightsaber battle. First of all, everybody's saying that Rey is just she's too powerful. She's too gifted already. Like she barely just taps into her force powers like in like less than less than 20 minutes. Like she already like is like comfortable with the force and could do all these things. That's why there's speculation. I believe she's Luke's daughter, and a lot of people do believe that as well. But yeah, the problem they had too was that Kylo Ren got his ass kicked. He got his ass kicked with Rey, and he's supposed to be like this trained kind of Sith and Jedi. He got trained by Luke. He got trained by Snoke, I believe, maybe a little bit. So I see the problems right there too, where a lot of people said, okay, this guy's supposed to be a super badass. He's supposed to have all this stuff, but you have Rey come in who barely taps into her powers and kicks his ass in a lightsaber fight and the Force fight when he's interrogating her. How do you feel about that, Mike? Do you agree with a lot of what people are saying?
I agree with what a lot of people are saying. Yeah, I mean, I think he should have whooped Ray's butt. Especially, let's just forget about Ray for 1 second. He also fought Finn with the lightsaber, and Finn
Oh
is
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you're on money.
Finn, I don't even think he knew what a lightsaber looked before he picked that up, you know? And I think he should have whooped Finn's ass in 2 seconds. I mean, I think it was totally like, I know this is Star Wars and it's unrealistic, but I think that was totally unrealistic, the fight between Kylo Ren and Finn, because, I mean, Finn
Well,
shouldn't have been able to put up a fight with Kylo Ren at all.
yeah, there is the. I mean, Chewbacca did hit him and hurt him because he
I,
was going like, "Ugh," like this, like he's trying to pump himself up. There's that. A lot of people are saying that, and I could say, yeah, that could be part of it. Um, I give it somewhat of a pass because I thought like, okay, there was a lot of weight to it, and he did get hurt, and he's not a fully trained. Like he's only half trained. He's only half trained because Snoke says at the end, "I need to complete his training." But you're right. The with Rey, it should have been more of a struggle. She should have been at least hurt in that fight. With Finn, he should have got his ass kicked. He should have got his ass kicked. We don't even know if Finn is even really a Jedi. We don't even know if he is force sensitive, but he probably does have some force, but we don't know if he's going to be a Jedi or not. But you're right, Mike. It should have been what he should have played with Finn like Darth Vader played with Luke in Empire Strikes Back. But he did hurt Finn at the end. So I see where you're coming from, Mike.
yeah, he did, and I understand that Chewbacca clipped him with his gun, and I feel like that was a little cop out, to make people think that, oh, that's why Finn was able to put up a fight with him. But yeah, I see what they're doing, and now that I just said something about Chewbacca, I am loving Chewbacca in this film. I don't
Right?
think,
Right?
man, I don't think I've loved Chewbacca more in any other films besides this one. I mean, he was just amazing. I'm totally in love with Chewbacca now more than ever before.
He got a lot to do in this film. And then when Han dies, you just see his pain. You just see he lost a brother. Chewbacca was, yeah, I mean, Chewbacca was pretty awesome in this film. I saw a little bit more. He did a little bit more than he did in the original trilogy, which is kind of insane because I didn't think he was going to do as much. But he did. He did. It's going to be, that was great. That was really great. I really did like Chewbacca, man. Um, but I guess going back to Ray real quick. So, how did you feel like Ray was force sensitive, and what did you think about her flashbacks, Mike? The one question is about her flashbacks, and I got a thing on that. I explained this to a lot of people I was saw the film with, and I think I got a good prediction on it. So, what do you think, Mike? What do you think about her flashbacks and her as a character?
First off, I'm looking forward to hearing predictions right now, but yeah, I found that interesting. Her flashback was interesting. I feel like it would be too convenient for her to be Luke's daughter, if you know where I'm coming from. I feel like it'd be way too convenient. I mean, I guess it would be cool, but if I had to pick, I'd rather Rey not be Luke's daughter. I'd rather her just be someone else, and we get a backstory on her in the next film, and we learn more about her. But I'd be a little turned off if it was Luke's daughter. But yeah, I really enjoyed the flashback, and to tell you the truth, Dan, I have to watch the film again to get
Yeah,
like a better grasp of that flashback, because it went a little quick when I was watching it because I was like really excited.
yeah.
I didn't fully take it in. I have to watch it again. But
No,
what do you think?
no, for real, Mike. I mean, my buddy of mine, he gave us a ride up there, and he watched the film, and we're on our way back. That's all we did was talk about the film. It's an hour and a half drive. Where all we did was talk about the film.
Oh wow.
But he said he needed to see it again to see that flashback because he felt like he missed a couple times, and I feel like I need to watch it at least one more time. This is a film I want to watch like 5 more times. Honestly, I would not, but I'll definitely watch it again just to see if I'll like it even more. But yeah, Mike. So first of all, I really did like Ray. I thought Ray was awesome. I don't think it's too convenient for her to be Luke's daughter because we got a lot of convenient stuff in this film. Millennium Falcon, Han Solo's son ended up being Kylo Ren. Kind of knew that. Han Solo dying. Kind of knew that. But convenient wise, also we had like the mountain splitting. You know, when Kylo Ren was one side and Rey was on the end. How convenient! The mountain splits. They can't. He can't. She can't finish them off. You know, a lot of convenience in this film. So I don't think it's a far fetched that she's Luke's daughter. And this is why. This is why. It would be awesome if it's cousin versus cousin. It would be awesome. It would be more weighted too. Like, okay, Kylo Ren's gonna. I believe Kylo Ren's gonna be redeemed, but I think he's gonna be killed off at the end of the series. But because he's a dick, he killed Han Solo. He has to die. But I think that it's gonna be cousin versus cousin. Rey's gonna find out she is Luke's daughter, and she's gonna be the one that turns Kylo Ren back to the light side of the Force, redeems him, because it's gonna be like symmetry, you know, like the other films. I think that's what they're setting it up for. But so the flashback, right? The flashback. First of all, Mike, I think I seen one person when the reviewed who said somewhat similar what I said, but a lot of people are not saying this. I think it was the Schmoes actually that said it, but I think it's not only a flashback, but it's the future as well. I think you got both. I think the flashback part is when she's a little girl and she's in Jakku, right? They put her in Jakku and we see that ship flying away. And I think the future part is Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren. I think that's the future part. Because when Kylo Ren is killing all those people, right? Right now he's Adam Driver. Right at that scene, he is older, right? So a lot of people will speculate that that's him when he turned. I don't think that's necessarily the case. Because him and Rey, I believe, I think they're like the same age, right? Would you agree on that, Mike? They're like kind of the same age, almost there.
I would say they're the same age. If anything, Rey's a couple of years younger. But yeah, I would stick with that that viewpoint that they are like around the same age. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say they're the same age, around there, like 2 years younger. So Kylo Ren is killing all these people when we see the Knights of Ren, right, in that rainy, stormy place, and he's the Kylo Ren that we see in this film, older. So that would make Rey about her. She's the same in the film as well. So she's right now when that scene is happening, she's in Jakku, or my bad, or she's with Luke or something like that. Because if that was the time Kylo Ren turned to the dark side, then he should be much older. He should be much older. And then Rey, because Rey would still be a little girl. So I think that overall, I think that part is definitely the future. I believe she saw her past a little bit, and she saw the future of what might happen. And Kylo Ren bringing the Knights of Ren definitely could work, because now he wants revenge, and he's gonna go track Luke and Rey. So that's what I believe, Mike. I think that's what I think that flashback was all about. Now this is where I think her being left onto the planet Jakku, I think a lot of people are saying the same thing that I'm saying on that part. Is basically, once Kylo Ren took over, or maybe this is why I think that's Luke's daughter, that after Luke failed, he wanted to send Rey away, just like himself was sent away to not be influenced by the dark side of the Force and stuff, because Luke feels like he's a failure because he just turned his nephew into the biggest douchebag in the galaxy. So I felt like he doesn't want the same thing to happen to his daughter, and I feel like maybe there's a slight hope. I'm hoping. This is only a hope, Mike. This is only wishful thinking, that they do somewhat do a little bit of the expanded universe that's not canon anymore, but they could pull from there. And they say that, hey, yeah, Luke did have a wife. She was a Jedi, and she gave birth to Rey, but she ended up getting killed by like Snoke or something. So that's Mara Jade. That's Mara Jade in the expanded universe. I'm hoping. Probably won't happen. And a lot of people are also speculating, Mike, that she might be it's crazy. She might be a daughter of maybe Sith Lords, which is a crazy theory out there as well. And then, or she might be just a daughter of some random people. The Sith Lords one was a crazy theory. So overall, Mike, what do you think about what I'm saying and this crazy stuff? But I do believe that flashback, Mike, is a flashback and her seeing the future.
That would be very interesting. Now that you said that, I would have to agree with you. I mean, it totally makes sense. It totally
Mhm.
makes sense what you're saying about how there's some flashback and flash forward or into the future in that little moment she had when she was by Luke's lightsaber. But yeah, I gotta watch the film again, and I hope we see more of that explained in Episode 8, which
Oh, most def-
I'm sure we will. But yeah, I agree with you when you say Luke feels like he's a failure as well, and he might have wanted to drop off Rey if that's his daughter on a planet where it would at least be expected. It looked like there's a lot of people facing hard times in there. She was scavenging parts to get portions of a meal. You would least expect her to be Luke's daughter if you went to that planet and seen her. So it makes a little sense. It makes sense, and there are a lot of crazy theories out there.
there's another thing too. The guy who's giving her the portions, right? The food portions, that little alien, the alien guy.
Yeah,
Um, they're saying that maybe he was the caretaker. That's why he wanted to get BB-8 out of the way because he knew about that droid. He didn't want to take it for the wealth or anything like that. They're saying that maybe he's actually a kind of observer array, making sure she doesn't like stray from the path because he has the Millennium Falcon. But maybe that's a crazy theory though. That's out there. But that would be kind of that's interesting what people are coming up with and stuff.
yeah, that'd be pretty crazy. And you're very right about the convenience in this film about the mountain splitting and the Millennium Falcon being in that spot where it was. There was a lot of
But
convenience.
that was a great moment, Mike. That was a great moment when they're running to that ship, and then he's like, "Oh, what about that one?" She's like, "Oh, that's garbage." And then the ship they were going after blows up, and like, "Okay, let's go to the garbage." And there it is, the
Yeah,
Millennium Falcon. That was a great scene, but it was too convenient. But it was a great scene.
yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm a little disappointed in the film, but there's a lot of parts of the film that I really enjoyed, like them when Han Solo and them went to the cantina bar. Like it was like a flashback. Like it made you get the vibes from like the past films in the original trilogy. When Han Solo, when we first got introduced to him, we got some of their money back that they got. Like Han is like he hasn't changed. He just got older. Han's still getting himself into
Oh,
trouble. Just like with Jabba the Hutt back in the day, he owes people money or this or that, whatever the case may be. It's still the same Han. And I just love Han and Chewie, and it's unfortunate that Han died. I mean, that was another convenient thing. I mean, I
we
called
all
it.
knew. We all knew though.
Yeah, I mean, we all called it months before that it would either be Han or Chewie, and now that Han is the one to die, it makes more sense because Chewie, you can just put anyone in that costume or CGI or whatever, but it would cost a lot more money to pay the actor Han,
Yeah.
and and I don't think like we all know Han didn't want to. Han believed he should have died a while ago and all that,
Yeah.
so it
That
doesn't
was.
make sense. But it was
Um.
I didn't like the death scene. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, man.
you've seen it coming.
Yeah. Harrison Ford was awesome in this. Like he was probably the best thing in this film, Mike. I mean, when he came on screen, he was Han Solo. He wasn't grumpy old Harrison Ford. He was Han Solo, and he was awesome. He was humorous. He had the comedic chops in this film. Loved the scenes with him and Chewie. How I love the back and forth about the gun. He has his little blaster, and then he uses Chewie's gun. He's like, let me see that for a moment. Yeah, it's pretty good. Like I like that. I love the chemistry with him and Chewie in this film. It was just off the charts. And another thing that was off the charts was him and Princess Leia when we get introduced to Leia again. And I thought, okay, how's this gonna go? We know that they're not together right now, and we know that that's Kylo Ren's his son, and they split the family apart basically. But when those two get back together, and the first interaction, which was hilarious when C-3PO interrupts them, but it was like Empire, man. It was like Empire all over again. I felt the same chemistry. I felt the same moments. I mean, beautifully done between Leia and Han. The only gripe I have about it is pretty much Leia sent him to his grave, bro. She sent him to his grave. She's like, I'm leaving my son. I need you to go talk to him and get just, lasered right in the damn chest. She sent him to his grave, which was so fucked up. I couldn't believe that shit.
Yeah.
But Han was great, Mike. Han was really great in this film. What else did you like about this film as well?
I mean, I totally agree with you. I mean, I loved Han in this film. It was Han Solo, like you said. It wasn't grumpy old Harrison Ford. It was Han Solo throughout the whole film, and he did a great job acting in this film. And I just love the vibes you get from him and Chewie. Some other things I liked in this film, the scenes with the Millennium Falcon. It was great. I like how we first seen Rey inside the ship that Darth Vader, we last seen Darth Vader in,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
fell onto the planet. And I believe, remember we spoke about this in a previous podcast. I believe that Kylo Ren obtained Darth Vader's helmet. Either
Yeah.
he might have either stole it from Luke, since they're like family now,
Yeah.
as he was training with Luke or something, or maybe he got it from the wreckage. Well, that wouldn't make
Yeah.
sense because Luke burnt his body, and that's where the helmet was. But I'm not sure. Where do you think he got the helmet from? Do you think he stole it from Luke, or when they were training, or how do you think?
Honestly, I have no clue. Like this was the thing about that gripes me with the film. I know everybody is saying like show don't tell. Show don't tell. Don't tell me what a lot of things are happening. You just gotta watch and they're showing me what's happening and stuff. But then I have this problem with it. Like a lot of people say that, and then when they watch Prometheus and they say, "Oh, they didn't tell us about what so and so." That could be said the same in this film. Like, how the fuck did he get that helmet? How did that alien chick get the lightsaber? She says, "Oh, that's a story for another time." Like, that's a kind of a big deal. Why can't you just like say a couple lines here and there? I get that they don't want to go back to the prequels where there's too much explanation and stuff, but those little things are just kind of like, what? And then they explained the Millennium Falcon, but it still was like, I don't really buy it. Like, how I don't buy the Millennium Falcon again being gambled away or stolen and being gambled away, this and that. I would think Han would definitely never let that thing go. I think he would never had that thing stolen. So there's a lot of things that like it's still they're saying they're saving it for the next film. Like we don't even know anything about Snoke. I believe he's Dark Plagueis, but we don't even know anything about Snoke. We just know that he's an alien dude who turned Kylo Ren to the dark side. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that are just so left unanswered. So that is somewhat like Prometheus, and that's why I don't really give this film a pass either, because listen, yes, it's leading up to a trilogy, but it's one film. It's one film. You want to just tie everything together. You just got to make it, think about this film as just being one film and not a trilogy and trying to explain things over the course of time. So that's where I felt like that was my gripe about it, about that, because I can't get that a pass if we're not giving Prometheus a pass because they left unanswered question as well, and that's what a lot of people hated about it. But a lot of people see it differently, which is fine. But you're right, Mike. I have no fucking clue. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Luke told him where he buried his father, but it was kind of stupid because I was watching this film like, wouldn't they kind of remind Kylo Ren like, hey, yeah, Darth Vader was such an asshole, but guess what? Luke Skywalker here, Luke, he turned him to the good side. But yet, Ben, Kylo Ren, aka Kylo Ren, still turns into the dark side. It's insane, man. It's insane. You know what? Let's talk about the stuff that just really. I really, really like the film, Mike, but I did not love it. I did not love it. I'm not gonna bullshit with people and say, "Oh my god, it was the greatest thing ever, number one of the year," because it wasn't. It wasn't even in my. This might not be in the third spot because I've seen way better films. I mean, it's a beautifully done film, but there's a lot of things to really say that why this film was somewhat of a disappointment. And Mike, tell me, why was this film a disappointment?
I mean, we can sit here and nitpick at so many different things. Like you said, they left us with a lot of unanswered questions, like who's Snoke, and I mean, I understand that we got a couple more films to go, and but like you said, we need to know, and like they got to stop thinking into like so much into the future. I mean, it's always good to think into the future, but we want to know what's going on in this film. You know, there's so many unanswered questions in this film. I mean, so much convenience, like we just spoke about. I mean, I can't see, like you said, I can't see Han Solo letting go of that Millennium Falcon and not trying to obtain it back. But whatever, we'll let that slide.
Well, he was looking for it, but just
Yeah.
like him getting robbed, getting stolen. I just don't see it happen. I just can't imagine it. I can't imagine that Millennium Falcon robbed. Actually, Mike, before we get into all the picks and stuff, let's I guess we need to just talk about, because we haven't talked about it really in detail yet. Han Solo's death. You said you didn't necessarily like how it all went down, and I'm agreeing with you. So, Mike, Han Solo's death. Tell me, like, what was your feelings? What was the crowd's feeling when you were in there? Like, did everybody like kind of weep? Did everybody like, oh, that's some bullshit, or what? What was the feeling, man?
I mean, I think I was the only one who said something out loud in the film.
What'd you say?
I cursed. I was like, "Fuck!"
Oh, okay. All right.
Like,
Fook.
Yeah, it's like right after he fell down. Like, I was like, it was a little silence there. I mean, you felt it in the crowd, but no one really was like out loud, like gasping or anything. I mean, when when Han was like to Chewie, yeah, go do this, go do that. We'll meet back.
Yeah.
Right then and there,
Yeah.
I was nudging Tom on the shoulder. I'm like, that's it. That's the last time they're gonna see each other.
Were you, Mike? Dude, when he said that, I'm like this. My friend's looking at me. I'm like, they're gonna fucking do an Obi-Wan right now. Are you serious right now? I'm like, you're gonna do a fucking Obi-Wan, because throughout the film he is like an Obi-Wan. So Mike, go on, man. Yeah, man. I was just like this, bro. I was like, this.
Yeah,
Really?
I was on the same page as you. I was shaking my head. I was nudging Tom on the shoulder. I was like, yep, that's the last time they're going to see each other. That's it. Han is a goner. And then Han goes up. He screams Ben, which I love for some reason. I just love that they named him Ben.
Yes.
I love that they named him Ben. I don't know if it's because Luke pushed them because of Ben Kenobi, but that's what I want to believe. And I really love that his name is Ben. And I love how he screamed. He was like, Ben! And he turned around, and right then and there, like, I even knew even more that Han was a goner, and I was getting a little shooken up, I mean, you just seen it, and it was disappointing that Han went out. I mean, he could have went out a different way, a little bit better, a little less unpredictable way, and I would have been more happy with his death.
Mm-hmm. How did you feel about that shot, though? I felt like the shot when Kylo Ren Ben does stab Han Solo is like it's down. The shot's down and it's like looking up. It looked so awkward, though. It kind of looked a little awkward to me, that shot of Han getting pierced in there. And you know what's so fucked up about that whole thing, Mike, is that he falls into another. Every fucking character who dies ends up falling into a damn pit. And what does he do? Fall into a damn pit.
Yep. That's what happened. And like I said, a little disappointed, but I mean, Han's good now, and I just loved how they panned the camera out right on Chewie, and Chewie clipped Kylo Ren really good, and I mean, we spoke about this in a previous podcast. You want to see the reaction on either Han or Chewie when the other one dies, when the other one.
We did get that. We did get that. You definitely got that, Mike. It was Chewie's reaction. It was beautiful.
Yep, I just loved the reaction. But what I didn't like is when they all got off the ship, how Rey interacted with Leia, and Chewie just walked by. I mean, I felt like Chewie should have been reacting with Leia about death. There was nothing there, That's another plot hole that they didn't even do.
Yes, that was what I was thinking the whole time. I'm like, this motherfucker just went past Leia. What? Like, wouldn't he be hugging her? Kind of saying it's okay, but no. No, we did not get that. I'm like, that's a huge, huge missed opportunity right there. That should have happened.
That
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 should have happened. He hugged her like when he saw her in the beginning, when he first sees her, but he doesn't hug her after Han's death. Totally. Maybe he's distraught and he doesn't want to look at her. That's the only reason I have for it. But other than that, like, I would have loved that moment. But she goes up to Ray.
yeah, that was another disappointment. It's another thing we can nitpick at.
Um, I'm gonna say this, Mike. Like we said, like, oh, fucking Obi-Wan all over again. There was a lot of that shit in the New Hope in here. And we'll get to the Death Star in a minute, the Star Killer base. We'll get to that in a minute. That's where my real gripe is about. But Han's death. Now, I think you're right. I think it was the worst time to do it. I think it was a bad time to do it right there and then. I wanted to see at least Han and Luke interact a little bit. It would have been awesome if they would have interacted a little bit, especially maybe at the end, and then he dies off. I would have been totally happy with that. Him interacting with Luke and then dying off. Totally would have been happy with that. We do. Then we get everybody. Everybody gets their moment. That all the characters interacted with each other. Han was actually the anchor. He was the Obi-Wan. Fine. I'm perfectly fine with Han dying. I said that. I'm perfectly fine with Han dying. Just the way he went out. You're right, Mike. I didn't necessarily agree upon. I thought it was a beautiful scene. I thought it was very beautiful, very touching. The back and forth, like him trying to convince his son to go to the light side, trying to, it's his son. I liked how he caressed his face, knowing that, hey, he's dying, but you're still my son. Or he was caressing his face like, fuck, I should have listened to your mother. I should never have listened to your mother. But beautiful. It was beautiful. Cinematography, beautiful. The light, the red light hitting Kylo Ren's face when everything goes pitch black, really showing that he's in the dark side now. He's fully in the dark side. The little light that Rey had on Han Solo, like beautiful cinematography. But the way it was, that's not what I wanted from Han. And that's not what I wanted from Luke either, was the same shit with Obi-Wan. I did not want that. This is the problem with the film. It should have been more original. There should have rehashed a lot of the stuff. And I don't know if it was J.J. Abrams doing or Kasdan's doing. I don't know who's doing it was. But J.J. Abrams is known to rehash a lot of shit. Because a lot of Star Trek fans complain about Into the Darkness because it's the same damn film as Wrath of Khan. So I don't know if a lot of this film, because it's a New Hope, pretty much a rehash of New Hope, I don't know if it's because of J.J. Abrams going back to New Hope and doing it, or I don't know, man. I felt like Han should have went that. There was no reason he should have went the same way as Obi-Wan. Han's not that character. That's not the death Han should have had. But that's what we got, and it is a little disappointing. It's beautiful. It was a beautiful scene, beautiful acted, beautiful shots. Just not the way I would have let Han go.
Yeah, I agree. He should have went out a different way. Like I said before, a little less predictable. And like you said, also, I totally agree with you. I just wanted to see one more interaction between him and Luke, just one more, and I would have been totally more satisfied.
I think that's the one we wanted the most. I mean, we loved him and Leia, but the one with him and Luke, because that's his. Which was, what's great is him and Luke. They're pretty much best friends. They're pretty much best friends. We see in a trilogy and stuff. It was great just seeing them hate each other at first, and then like really just oh hey kid, this and that. What's great about this film though is the friendship that's developing between Poe and Finn. I really like that friendship that's developing right there. So it is reminiscent of Luke and Han. But okay, man. Before I get to the Starbase, how did you feel knowing that they tell you right away? They tell you right away, which I thought was a little bit of a mistake too. They could have left that until the very end when Snoke says, "Your father, Han Solo." Like when they revealed that Kylo Ren father is Han Solo, like towards like the middle of the film. How did you feel about that? Did you think they should have done it later on, or was that kind of perfect timing?
I mean, I feel like a lot of people knew before coming into the film that that was a possibility. So, I mean, I really wasn't too disappointed in that. But like, I kind of see where you're coming from. It could have been done a different way. You know, it could have been done a different way. And I mean, I like Snoke, his look and the vibe that he's giving off. But again, it's like a New Hope over again. You like see Senator Palpatine or Darth Sidious, as we know him, in the in that form. Like, you know, I mean, it was a New Hope all over again. Just very disappointing. Very disappointing.
Did you think that Snoke was like this giant ass being? And were you thinking that at first? Because I was thinking that at first, like, man, that motherfucker is big. And then it was a hologram. I was like, oh, never mind.
That is so funny. I was like, that's another thing I was cursing in the film. I was like, oh damn, he's like 30 feet tall. I
Yeah,
really
like,
thought he was huge at first, but I guess it's just a hologram, you know?
yeah, I was like, dude, how the fuck are they gonna fight that? Like, they're done. They're done. But yeah, we got a little bit of time left. We got to talk about the one thing that just really so unnecessary, very rushed. The Starbase, the Star Killer base, Mike.
Oh,
The new Death Star. The oh my god, man. I mean, when how stupid was it when they had the plans to that, and they said it's funny, but it's stupid. When Han's like, there's always like one of those, shafts and stuff that they could just blow up in an instant and kill, just destroy the Death Star. This is the fucking third time we saw the Death Star, Mike. The third time. One in A New Hope. Two in Return of the Jedi. They blown it up twice. Why would you go back to it in episode 7? Why would you do this? Why would you do this? And you know what? So rushed, Mike. So rushed. And the dogfights, I don't even really remember that particular part. The most I was invested in Rey, Kylo Ren, Finn, them. I was invested in that. But the Death Star, the run to destroy the Death Star, not needed, not necessary. Why the fuck would they go to that, Mike? Why?
like you just said, it was very rushed, first of all. And this is one of my major problems with this film. It is so damn played out. I mean, I was sitting there ripping my hair out of my head. I was so aggravated with this concept of another Death Star. They compared it to the Death Star. It was 10 times bigger. Blah blah blah. Whatever. You're trying to make it better than it is. It was totally crap, and I think that was one of the major things that ruined the film. It's so played out. You hit this one little spot, and the whole planet blows up again, and it's so convenient again, like with them total convenience that Finn knew about something, whatever it was, and
And Finn all along was a janitor. That was
yeah,
his first time going out to battle. He was a janitor. Oh my god!
and it
Like,
was so stupid. I was so angry, disappointed, and aggravated with that. I was like, they're really doing this again, man. It ruined the film. Ruined the film. It was a good film, but that was one of the major things that ruined the film.
I know they tried to showcase the power by blowing up like 3 planets at the same time, but I don't give a shit about those planets. We don't even know anything about those planets. What we cared about was Alderaan because we know that's Leia's home planet. We had no fucking clue what those planets were. I don't care about the massive power that Death Star had. It just did not need to be there. It did not need to be there in this film. You're right, Mike. It was a big mistake doing that over again. You can only repeat something so much. This is the third time. Why would you do that? Mike, the other problem I had with this film was a character I was looking forward to, and I think a lot of people were looking forward to. And you could see her in the background. Phasma.
Oh,
Phasma didn't do jack shit in this film. And you know what the problem what sucked was they captured her so she could take the shields off, and they put her in the fucking garbage pit or whatever. Like, why? You hype up this character so much. And I think J.J. Abrams says she was the Boba Fett of this movie. Like, no, she was not. Boba Fett at least was look cool and did a couple things here. I think Fett had more screen time and more things to do in like one film than she did in this film. Totally dropped the ball on that. What do you think, Mike?
That's another thing I was disappointed to. Coming into this film, I thought she was going to be like a major character. I mean, I think she's going to play more of a role in episode 8. Because she didn't die.
Yeah,
she didn't die in this.
Yeah, most definitely. But I want to see her this film. I don't want to wait fucking next film. I want her in this film. Take out this stupid ass Death Star and give me Phasma or something. Give me the Knights of Ren. Give me the Knights of Ren. That would have been more appealing.
Yeah, they hyped her character up so much, and she didn't even do anything. She didn't even get that much screen time at all. I mean, that's another disappointment. So many disappointing things in this film. Then, like I said this before. I don't know if you remember. It's 2015. Let's just say that first of all, okay? This film should have been 10 times better than it was, especially when you have 6 previous films to draw from, all the books that have been released. You have so much material to draw from. I feel like it was just so rushed, and so I feel like they took the easy way out of this film, Dan, and I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed. Like coming out of Guardians of the Galaxy, whatever, a year or two ago, whenever that film released. Right when I came out of the theater, I was like, wow, we have to go see this again tomorrow. And I thought I was going to come out of this film saying the same thing. But it was not the case with that.
No, man. No, I feel you, man. That's a great example because Guardians of the Galaxy, sure, it's a beat for beat like a lot of other films you've seen. But for some reason, it just works. It clicks. It's funny, it's adventurous, it's the great stellar cast, which I'm not saying this film doesn't have.
Oh yeah.
But there's something in that film that makes you want to repeat it. With this film, there's a lot of things that they kind of like. Star Wars The Force Awakens is a different case than a lot of other films. Different case. Jurassic World, yeah, it has like a lot of nostalgia factor and stuff. But it works for that particular film because a lot of people weren't too invested in Jurassic Park and the franchise and the world. Star Wars, everybody's invested. Everybody's looking for something new. That's the difference between this film and a lot of other films. We wanted something new. We wanted to go somewhere that we haven't seen before because Star Wars, the first one in 1977, that's what it did. It gave us something new. It just blew everybody away. And then the films after that as well. So for episode 7, that's what we were looking for. I think that's why people are disappointed too. We were looking for something that blows us away, something fresh, something we haven't seen for a while, and we did not get that. You could even say that for the prequels, and that's bad. That is so bad. George Lucas at least tried to do something new. It failed horribly, and I can see why J.J. Abrams went back to New Hope because he wanted to play it safe. But that doesn't. Sometimes what's great about Guardians of the Galaxy that they didn't play it safe. They know a talking raccoon was fucking goofy as hell, but they made it work. And for this film, I felt like you needed more. You needed more cojones, man. You needed more cojones going forward, and they didn't do that. J.J. Abrams was like, "Oh, nah, let's play it safe." Nah, man, double down. So, I feel you, Mike. I feel you.
Oh man, yeah. Like I said, I just didn't come out of this film wanting to see it again, and I thought that would be the case. I mean, I'll give you a rating before we wrap the podcast up, but
No problem.
I just want to say one thing. There's a lot of theories out there, but I really truly believe that Snoke is Plagueis, is Darth Plagueis.
Yeah. I think everybody believes that.
Because if you go back to episode 3 when Palpatine was talking to Anakin, and he first mentioned Darth Plagueis. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but Darth Plagueis.
Yeah.
On screen, there was this music in the background, and they played that same when they were having the conversation. Palpatine and Anakin. There was this music in the background. And I don't know if you caught this, but when we first got introduced to Snoke in this film, Dan, it was the same exact music that
Are you
was.
serious?
I'm dead serious,
I
Dan.
did not catch that, man. Are
I
you
am.
are you are you 100? Are you you're
I am
saying
100% positive. I'm 100% positive it was the same exact music, and I think that's too much of a coincidence.
hell yeah?
It has to be him. It has to be, and I'm totally looking forward to Snoke even more. That's like my
Mike,
most
I want
anticipated besides Luke.
I want you to say that loud. I want you to say that clear because nobody, I don't think anybody caught that. I don't think, and I'm going to watch it again. I don't think anybody caught that. I want you to say that loud and clear because, man, I think you're the first. I believe you're the first, and I think you deserve all the credit in the world. I'm going to say it right now. Mike is calling this shit, and he has proof that this dude, Snoke, is Darth Plagueis. Say that again, man. Say what you just said. Because, man, you're on the money on this. You are on the money.
Okay, so when in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, when Palpatine was talking to Anakin, I was watching like a Bubbles show, like a weird show, and Palpatine was explaining to Anakin about he could save this guy Darth Plagueis got killed by his master and his Padawan in his sleep, blah blah blah. When they were having that conversation in Episode 3, there was this music playing. The same exact music was playing when we first seen Snoke in Episode 7. And like I said before, it's too much of a coincidence not to be true that Darth Plagueis is Snoke. Darth Plagueis is Snoke. I really, truly believe that, and I am totally looking forward to learning more about this Snoke character. And if I'm right about this, I'm gonna be very happy and excited because I want to know more about him.
Most definitely, Mike. Oh, Mike, I hope, I'm going to watch that again. I'm definitely going to look for that. And I'll watch Episode 3 again, I guess. But, yeah, man, I think it's Plagueis, too. I mean, there's no shadow of a doubt. I think a lot of people believe that it's Plagueis. But catching that, Mike, that's good, man. That's solid right there, brother. So what's your rating, man? What's the overall rating? Let's say one to five. Let's say 1 to 5. 5 being the highest, of course. What's your rating on for Star Wars: The Force Awakens?
Oh, he's not even gonna give me a 1 to 10. 1 to 5. Oh man.
I'm making it hard for you, man.
No, you are making it 10 times more harder. Oh, damn. I would have to say, just because my expectations were so much more high, I would have to give it like a 2, maybe 2.5 out of 5.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna get my rating too, Mike. I'm gonna wrap it up real quick though. Okay, guys, listen. We're sitting here saying like the last part it was disappointing, but we're not saying that it's not a bad film. It's a really good film. Right, Mike? I think you agree on that. It's a good film.
I agree with you. It is a great film. You see so many different old characters. I like the film. It was just very disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Luke looked fantastic. By the way, I think Luke looked very fantastic. That any shot, he looked like the old Luke, like I knew. I thought he was gonna look really, really bad, but he didn't. Han looked great, for his age. Leia was the only one that was like, ugh, he's still a little bit old. You got that rasp in your voice, but original characters look great. The new characters are fantastic. There is something that we could take away from here. It's definitely, if anything, this film is a great setup. It's a great looking forward to the other films. Yes. Kylo Ren, you could either love him or hate him, but I liked him. But we'll see where he takes us at the future as well. Lot of things that's not very. It feels like a somewhat of a rehash. There's a lot of things that kind of boggle down a little bit in this film. A lot of nitpicks, sort of, but then there's a lot of problems with the film as well. A lot of coincidence, a lot of characters that wasn't utilized very well. General Hux was one of them too. I felt like he needed more as well. A lot of things we don't know. A lot of things that happen in this film, like with Han's death, that I don't necessarily agree with, or even like Kylo Ren or Rey having so much powers and stuff. I did like Rey as well, but overall, the film was. I really liked it, but I did not love it. And did it meet up to the hype? Like I said before, it somewhat did. There's a lot of things to take away from it. It's a beautiful done film, great practical effects, great CGI. But on a scale of 1 to 5, I would give it a 3. I'd give it a 3.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. That's a good score.
I'd give it a 3. It doesn't, like you said, Mike. It doesn't make me want to see it 5 more times. It makes me want to see it one more time just to see what I missed and see if I like it even more. But overall, I give it a 3. So
And
I think we're
when you, I'm sorry to cut you off, but when you watch it again, remember when you see Snoke, try to listen to that music in the background and then go back to episode 3.
most definitely. I'm definitely gonna check that out. So, all right, guys, that is it for our Star Wars: The Force Awakens podcast. I mean, there's still so much to talk about, but you know what? We're gonna keep it like this. We're gonna keep it an hour long. I think a lot of people already have their opinions on what if they like it or not, and that's fine, man. If you love it, you love it. If you just liked it like us, then that's cool too. I mean, we all have different opinions on what maybe this could have been or maybe it is. So overall, I want to thank you guys for joining us. I want to thank my buddy Walking Dead Mike, who, man, that Walking Dead, man, that Walking Dead.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait. And listen, guys, if you haven't seen Star Wars yet, get your butt to the theater and see it.
Yeah, by all means, it's still a must-see movie. So you guys have to go check it out and have your own opinion. We would love to hear what you guys have to say down below in the comment section. Spoiler free. You could spoiler the shit out of this down below. Just warning you guys. Like the video if you like it. And hit that subscribe button, man. Just hit that subscribe button. Would really appreciate it. If you've seen Star Wars: The Force Awakens. So I'm Dan Man, aka Daniel's son. And like I always say, Mike, like I always say, grab a tick, grab a seat, make sure you got some good popcorn to eat. We'll see you at the cinema. See you, Mike.
See you later, Dan.